Hello and welcome to the chaos. My name is Kristen and I am the crocheter behind the business Cheerful Chaos Crafts. I do craft markets and I do online sales and I make patterns and I do tutorials and just all kinds of things. So this is the first video for January. It's going to be coming out on Friday, January the 5th, and my proposed new schedule is going to be for the first and third Friday of each month to be a video. So that'll be just about every 2 weeks. So that's my plan for 2024 in keeping with my goals. So if you saw my most recent video where I was talking about my goals, that was one of them, to be more consistent with my videos. So if you're new here, hi, thanks for coming. And if you've been watching me for a while, hi, I love you. Thanks for coming back. I decided this video for the first one of the year is going to be my last official yarn haul because I had made another one of my goals to be that I was not going to buy any additional yarn if I didn't need it to replace something I'd used up. But that new yarn came out by Joanne, the Big Twist Posh, and I just had to try it. I had to try it, and technically, I bought it in December. So technically, I'm still okay. But it is the last yarn haul. So I want to go through it, take a look at it, and let you know my thoughts and feelings on it, show you some things I've made from it. And that's going to be our first video of the new year. So where did I put my bag? Here's my bag. There are 15 colors that this yarn comes in, and I did get one of each, so we can look at them real quickly. If you watched other YouTubers, because it's all over YouTube right now, and all over Instagram, looking at this yarn, then you've probably seen all of this, but just in case somehow you've missed the hype and you haven't, seen all of this, we'll go over each of them, just so you don't miss out. So I'm going to go, let's see. Here's the first one. Here's what the label looks like. Now there's another yarn by Big Twist. There, see, might be backwards for you guys. I don't know if it is, but see how it says Posh right there? There's another yarn by Big Twist called Big Twist Plush that I've never used, but that's different from this. It's not the same thing. And yes, it is a chaos day. That is why we say, welcome to the chaos. My kids are finishing up dinner just over there, so you may hear them a little bit. Hopefully not too bad. This is, where's the details on it? 233 yards, or 213 meters, 200 grams. So when you're comparing this to, say, like a burlap blanket, let me find one that still has a label on it, like this. These are 300 grams. So this is a much bigger skein than this, you can tell. And the yarn weight itself is thicker. So this is compared to burlap blanket. Let's see if I can get it up close enough for you to tell the difference. Where's the end of this thing? I know I pulled out some of this black earlier to find the end. Okay. All right, so there's the black is the Posh, orange is the burnout blanket. So it's a little bit smaller than the burnout blanket, but it has a similar kind of consistency, like that springy quality that burnout has. This also has. Put this back. And then I actually don't know if I have any Parfait Chunky to compare it to. Here, I have some Sweet Snuggles. So this is Sweet Snuggles Light, which is, as we know, a little bit thicker than the, oh my goodness, it's falling apart. Yeah, it's just a mess. Okay. So Sweet Snuggles Light compared to the Posh. So yeah, the Sweet Snuggles is fluffier for sure. At first glance, is thicker. However, you will know if you've worked with it before that Sweet Snuggles as a chenille yarn is this very thin little thread with just fuzz on it. So it's actually a fairly thin yarn, but the fuzz part makes it seem bigger than it is. This, even though they call it a chenille yarn, is not that way. Where is the end of this thing? I know I pulled some out because I used it as like an accent the other day. There is a loose end somewhere. I'm just not finding it. This is going to drive me insane. Anyway, I don't have an end to pull on for you, but you can tell when you feel it. This is more like a blanket than a chenille in that it is not just fluff on a thin string. It's got a little bit more substance to it. Hold on just a minute. I have a little princess asking. Okay, we're back. So yeah, so this has got more of that structural integrity that a blanket yarn has. It's just thinner. And it's about the same thickness as the Premier Parfait Chunky. I thought I had some pulled out to compare it to, but I don't think I do. I'm not sure. Unless this blue might be. I don't know if this is Parfait. I think this might be Sweet Snuggles. That's Sweet Snuggles. Anyway, it doesn't fall apart like the Premier, and it holds its structure really well, and but it is thinner. So I recommend it. Does it call it a 5? It says, yeah, it's a bulky 5. It is not a bulky 6. It's not even marketed to be a bulky 6. It says 5 right here on the label, and it recommends a 8mm crochet hook, which in amigurumi is of course much too big. We always size way down. And for this, I actually have been most comfortable using a 5. That's what has worked the best for me so far. And I could potentially size it down even to like a 4.5 and still do really, really well with it. So let's look at the colors real quick. So this is the black that I've made a giant mess of now, trying to find the end. And the name on this one is Black Sesame Ice Cream. And that's one of the fun things about this yarn is all of these names are like really fun. So we have Black Sesame Ice Cream. And then we have this lovely sort of toffee color, which is Croissant. And I do like, there's only 15 colors, so it's limited right now, but it's brand new. They may come out with more. But I do like that in those 15 colors, they give variations on the same color. So like then we have this other brown, which is more like a teddy bear brown, and it's called Brown Butter. So there it is next to the Croissant. So you've got 2 tones of skin color, brownish color, tannish color, you know. And then we've got a couple of blues. Not right now, baby. This bright blue, this is like a royal blue. This is blueberry jam. See how bright that is? It is really bright. Like it's showing up really bright on the camera, but it's really bright in person too. And then we have this lighter blue, which I think is smoothie. Yeah, blueberry smoothie. So we have blueberry jam and blueberry smoothie for the 2 true blues. And we have a gray tone called Earl Grey. Just a very nice light gray. There is a yellow, and it's a very bright, cheerful yellow. Lemon meringue. Very nice. Very bright yellow. I can see a lot of fun things for this for summertime mix. And then we have a range of what I would consider all neon colors. So there's this neon, which is Strawberry Glow. And I've actually used some of this for a project that I'll show you here in a little bit. And then this neon orange color called Sherbet Glow. This one's actually not showing up as bright on camera as it is in person. This is a very neon orange. This is bright. Then we have this neon sort of bluish color, and this is or mint color really, and it's mint chip, I think. Where's the thing? Yeah, mint chip is this sort of an aqua blue color. And then the last of the neons is this green, and this is Glow Warm. And it is a very, very lime green, which is, again, it would be a really fun, cute summer color. And then I have a true green. So not quite in the same family as that neon green. This is called Bok Choy. It's looking a little more blue on camera than it does in person. This is a very green color in person. And then we've got a couple of pastels. And you can tell I've used some of these. Are getting a little squishy. This is Strawberry Shortcake. Very pretty pastel. This lovely, lovely lavender color is Ube Milk Tea. And it is so nice. And then finally the white, which is actually called Whipped Cream, which is just, like I said, all of these have just really fun names. Like who calls their white whipped cream? That's really fun. All right, so let me get all these back in the bag real quick.
Mommy.
What, baby?
That is my cat's broken. I want to give it to somebody.
No, Ayla can fix it. We can fix it later.
I want to set it in our on the desk in our
Okay, that's a good idea. Put it on the desk to fix it. She's got a little stuffed animal that her sister made her for Christmas that lost one of its button eyes, so we've got to glue that back on. Okay, so projects. If you watch me on Instagram, you've probably seen these already, but these are the two projects that I have made so far with this yarn. The first one is this Sleeping Dragon by Lice & Co. Crochet. Isn't she pretty? And I did embroidered her little sleeping eyes, and I made her a watermelon theme with that bok choy and the strawberry glow, and I just think she turned out really cute. Now I will say, for that pattern in particular, it's one of those where the increases and decreases land is important to making the final shape of your plushie. And I have always had trouble with those. And it's probably my tension or something, but they always wind up in the wrong place on the row. I follow the count to a T, but it's still always going to wind up in the wrong place. So when she was finished and just originally stretched out, it kind of looked like her head was on sideways, but I kind of fixed it by running a thread up her neck here and pulling it tight so that it stays sort of curled, and I curled her tail in so she looks like she's just curled up asleep, and she just kind of stays that way, and that kind of hid the issues that I was having there. But that's me and those specific kinds of patterns problem. That's not anything to do with the yarn or with the pattern itself. That's a me thing. Okay, so this, like I said, I did with a 5mm hook, and I could go down to a 4.5. I've got a few, not very many. I mean, it's not super noticeable, but there's a few places where it gapes just a little bit between the stitches where I must have let my tension loosen up a little bit. So if I were to do it again, probably, and especially for a bigger pattern that I work on for longer, I would probably go down to that 4.5mm hook, so that if I start to get tired and loosen my tension throughout, it doesn't make as much of a difference as it did this time. But I do think she turned out nice. The yarn was so nice to work with. It feels like butter. It is so smooth. It's not the chenille soft. That's a different feel. That's like a velvet or like a velour kind of a feel to it. This buttery is really the only description I can come up with for it. It's not like the blanket yarn. It's softer, I think, than blanket yarn, but it's not quite the same softness as a chenille. It's just a different kind of softness, but it's one that I really appreciate. I really like it. It flowed smoothly over my hook. It didn't catch on anything. It flowed smoothly over my fingers and didn't make my skin feel roughed up or anything like that. Um, and it is springy. Like, it just has a wonderful, squishy, springy quality to it that is just really nice. So this is Sleeping Strawberry Dragon was the first pattern I did by Lysenko Crochet. And then the second one I did just last night was this adorable Valentine's turtle by Crochet by Jenna. She just released this pattern this month, and if you're one of her Patreons, you get it for free in her January pattern drop. But yeah, so I used the light pink, the light purple, so it's the strawberry milkshake and ube milk tea, and then I created these eyes with my Cricut specifically for her. Like, I got up this morning and designed these specifically for her. And I just think she's adorable, and I'll probably make at least one more of these today or tomorrow if I have time, because I do have a last minute market that I got into on Saturday, that I would like to have at least one more of these, because I think she'll sell. She's really cute. And oh yeah, and this has nothing to do with this yarn review, but I've just recently started tagging my things like this. So I've got my Etsy shop on the tag and then the price on the back, and I've started using SKU numbers. So that's a new thing for this year, trying to be better with my bookkeeping for my business. And I'm hoping using those SKU numbers will make it easier when I'm checking people out at my booth. So I don't have to be typing in my Square app, like, try to remember what did I name this thing when I put it in there. I can just go by the number that's on the tag, and it'll pull right up. So that'll make that easier. Okay. So we've talked about how it feels. We've talked about how it works up. Price wise, it's gonna be similar to pretty much all the other like 5 and 6 weight yarns out there. The original marked price, I believe, is $9.99 a skein. Right now, Joann's is running a sale. It's like $7.49 a skein. And of course, if you do their curbside pickup, then you get another 20% off of your entire order. So it winds up being like $5.50 a skein or something like that for right now. I don't know how long they'll be running that sale, but so you can always get it cheaper than the $9.99. And it is nice that it's at Joann's because it's convenient. You can just go and pick it up. Now, of course, right now, everybody's talking about it. So it might be a little harder to get a hold of because everybody's rushing out there to buy it because they all want to try it for themselves. The other thing that I wanted to say, though, is that for this turtle, and if anybody's used the Crochet by Jenna turtle pattern, you know that for the main body color, so that's the head, the fins, the belly, the tail, and in this case, the bow that decorates the back, usually takes all of that together one whole skein of whatever yarn you're using, usually. It took half a skein. I weighed the skein before and afterward. It took a little less, actually. It took 98 grams of the pink to do all of this. Actually, no, it was 98 total grams of all the colors. So that included the purple and the white. So yeah, it took less than half a skein for the main body part. And same with the dragon. The dragon took 100 total grams of yarn. So half a skein for each one of these. So you could get 2 whole plushies out of each skein if you're just doing, a solid. And that's these larger plushies. That's not like the little small guys, like your little octos and stuff. So I'll have to do another test and pick one of the colors to just see, how many, say, octos. I don't know. I'll pick something. How many X creatures can I get out of one skein of this yarn? Then compare it to some other things that I've done. Like, I know with a burnout blanket yarn, I can get 7 Mabel chickens out of it. What else have I done it with? I think, did I do one with pickles? I know Katie Being Creative did one with pickles, and I can't remember if I did the same. Bees. The only one I can remember off the top of my head is the maple chicken. Now none of these colors other than the white speaks chicken to me, so I probably won't be doing a chicken by chicken comparison. So what I'll probably have to do is pick a creature, preferably something that I don't already have a lot of in my inventory, like leggy froggies. I'm actually really low on leggy froggies. I've only got 2. That's, I think, what I'll do. I'll use that glow warm neon green, and I'll see how many leggy froggies I can get out of one skein of that. And then I'll take something else to compare it with, like maybe I'll pick one of the Burnats, and see how many leggy froggies I can get out of a whole skein of Burnat, and then we'll see. We'll see how it compares. But I'm thinking right now, my guess is that this is probably going to be a little bit cheaper in the long run. I think you're going to get more out of it. They're going to be a little smaller than the Burnat, than compared to like a Parfait Chunky, which is what everybody seems to be comparing this to. But I don't prefer Parfait Chunky. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I don't prefer them. And I don't think I actually have any in my stash anymore. I think I've gotten rid of it all. I'll look through and see. If I have any Parfait Chunky left, then I will, or it would have to be a whole skein. If I have one intact skein of Parfait Chunky buried in this mess back here somewhere, then I'll use that as my comparison. Otherwise, I'll pick something else. But I'm thinking it's going to wind up being a better value overall, because even though the Burnat is 300 grams and this is 200 grams, I think you're going to get more out of these. Because I think the Burnat is just heavier and denser overall, and that's why it weighs more in the skein. Yeah, because you know what? This is like, let's see, how many yards is this? 233 yards. The Burnat, let's find a Burnat to compare to. Let's go back to my orange, since I know that one, I know where that one is. So the new Posh yarn is 233 yards. The Burnat is 220 yards. So yardage wise, similar, even though this is heavier. And then I've got, what else have I got I could potentially compare it to? I do have some of the Premier Basics yarn, which is 150 grams, 112 yards. So almost as heavy, but less than half the length. So you see, it's kind of difficult to judge apples to apples that way. Trying to think if there's anything else in here I have that I can do a straight up comparison to that I haven't really used much of. That's a Chanel Home Slim. These are all blacks. What have I got in my greens? You know what? I think I might actually have a Parfait Chunky Red in here that I never did anything with. Or do I not? What is this? That's Chanel Home Slim. I must have used it. Because I was trying to kind of use it up a little bit. Oh yeah, so here's the Premier Basic Chanel, the bigger ball. This one's 300 grams, 220 yards. So as far as yardage, this is almost exactly the same as the Burnat blanket. And close to this. But the Burnat blanket, as everybody knows, original price is like $13. And it's got less yardage in it than this, which you can get, for right now anyway, for $5.50. So yeah, I think it's going to be a better deal. But anyway, I've been all over the place with this video and I need to put an end to it. So don't mind my rambling. I may even cut this out or like fast forward through it and give you a little thing on the bottom that says I rambled for 10 minutes. Ignore me. But that's it. That's going to be it for this video. So next one coming out will probably be that comparison. So I can do a side by side and see how many we can get out of each thingy. And I will see y'all the third Friday of the month. Bye.